Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Ramesh Ramachandran, coming up in the next 30 minutes. COP28 opens in Dubai. The UAE says the summit must get the world to tackle climate change. India expects a clear roadmap on climate financing. The United Nations Deputy Secretary General hails India as a champion of South-South cooperation, highlights its leadership in addressing global challenges. And India's G20 Presidency ends today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says G20 today is more inclusive, ambitious and action-oriented. The 28th session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change began at Dubai in the United Arab Emirates today. The annual UN Climate Change Conference, which will continue till the 12th of December, has opened with a resounding call to accelerate collective climate action and higher ambition against the escalating climate crisis. The COP27 President, Sameh Shukri, handed over the gavel to COP28 President Sultan Al Jaber. The nearly two-week-long summit will look to address some of the most pressing issues related to what experts say is a rapidly accelerating climate crisis. The talks will also center on a loss and damage fund established last year, which would channel financing to vulnerable countries. The COP28 president stressed that this summit must send an important message to the world to tackle climate change.
I ask you to start this COP with a different mindset. I ask you to adopt a different way of thinking. And I ask you to be flexible. We must ensure that this COP delivers the most ambitious global stocktake possible. So let's work efficiently. Let's agree on the agenda and move to text quickly. We have no time to waste.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend the UN Climate Change Conference in the UAE. He will address the opening session of the summit.
Honorable Prime Minister will be traveling to Dubai later this evening to attend the World Climate Action Summit, which is the high-level segment of the 28th Conference of Parties, COP28. To the UNFCCC, that is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Departing later this evening, will be attending the summit events tomorrow, 1st of December. In terms of Prime Minister's participation at the COP28, Honorable Prime Minister will deliver his address at the opening session of the World Climate Action Summit.
Prime Minister Modi will take part in 3 high-level side events, of which 2 are being co-hosted by India. The first high-level event being co-hosted by India and the UAE is the launch of the Green Credits Initiative. Now, this initiative will foster collaboration among decision makers and bring together public and private sectors with the objective of accelerating the transition to net zero emissions.
Prime Minister will also be participating in 3 high-level side events, of which 2 are being co-hosted by India. The first high-level event, which is being co-hosted by India and the UAE, is the launch of Green Credits Initiative. The second side event, co-hosted by India and Sweden, is the launch of Lead IT 2.0, essentially a leadership group for energy transition. Honorable Prime Minister will also be participating in another high-level event, which is titled Transforming Climate Finance, which is to be hosted by the Presidency of the COP28, that is the UAE.
Now, Indians living in Dubai are excited to welcome India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. My colleague Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to some of them. Take a listen.
Minister Narendra Modi will be arriving in Dubai on Thursday and the excitement is palpable. I have with me some of the diaspora members who are waiting. They're waiting with bated breath to meet Prime Minister Modi.
We love you, Modi ji, and we are, here ready to welcome you. And we all are very happy to see India is shining in the world. And this is just not a thought, it's ideology which is spreading ahead.
I am waiting for him because as him, when he's come, he's made India like a shining charm all around the world.
Everybody is really excited, and we do look at Modi ji to be here. And we get the response from the local compatriots also that it is a big gift for us.
We are super duper excited that Modi ji is once again coming to see us. He was the first Prime Minister who came here after 36 years. We are here almost like 3.8 million Indians in UAE, and there was nobody to come and see us till now until Modi ji came. So we are super duper excited, and we know the difference after Modi ji has become Prime Minister, how he has developed the relationship between UAE and India.
I am fortunate that I am going to meet him fourth time, and whole Indian diaspora is, they are going mad to see the Prime Minister Modi here. The big craze in Dubai.
The work he has done for the country is awesome. Establishing a temple in such a desert area is very difficult. I really appreciate. I respect him as a person more. The work he has done for the society.
Meeting with Modi ji is an honor, right? It is like, he has so much of energy that you get the energy. Like when the sun rises, sun has so much of energy and we get it. So being in his company and seeing him, like someone said that we were looking forward to seeing him, it's because everyone gets such an energy from him.
That's the Indian diaspora. Very, very excited, super excited to see Prime Minister Modi, and he will be here on Thursday. He will be taking part in the COP28, and all these diaspora members are very confident. They want Prime Minister Modi to come here. They want to cheer him up as he takes lead in terms of environmental issues in the world. With camera person Rajesh, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Dubai.
India is among the few countries which is contributing to achieve its national commitments, according to the country's Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra. The official says India has taken a leadership role in shaping the global agenda on climate.
India submitted its enhanced NDCs, nationally determined contributions, before COP27, and also submitted a long-term development strategy to pursue our goal of net zero emissions by 2070. India is among the few large economies which are on track to meet its nationally determined contributions. Also noteworthy that in recent years, under the vision and personal guidance of Honorable Prime Minister, India has taken a leadership role in shaping the global agenda on climate and environment, including through focusing on this issue in the two Voice of Global South Summit organized by India, first in January this year and most recently the one earlier this month.
India's Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupender Yadav, inaugurated the India Pavilion at COP28 in Dubai. The theme of the India Pavilion is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one family. The minister told the gathering that the pavilion indicates India's commitment to environment-friendly policies. He said the next 12 days will see all stakeholders discuss various issues such as loss and damage fund and climate finance.
It is showcasing India's commitment towards environment-friendly policy. Pavilion is a place where people will come together, discuss, and also putting their efforts for the field of environment.
So the stage is set in Dubai for the 28th UN Climate Summit. Can it help forge a sustainable future? My colleague Tapas Bhattacharya finds out.
In the heart of the United Arab Emirates, the stage is set for COP28, the 20th annual UN Climate Summit, commencing in Dubai from November 30th to December 12th. Dubai hosts a summit that's crucial for tackling the climate change. Why does COP28 matter? Well, it's a pivotal moment to keep the 1.5 degrees Celsius target alive, agreed upon in the Paris Agreement in 2015. The 1.5 degrees Celsius target is crucial to avoid the most damaging impact of climate change, according to UN's climate body, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Long-term warming currently stands at about 1.1 degrees Celsius to 1.2 degrees Celsius compared with the pre-industrial times, the period before humans started burning fossil fuel at scale. However, the world is on track for about 2.5 degrees Celsius of warming by 2100, even with the current pledges to tackle emissions. The window for keeping the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit in reach is rapidly narrowing. Disagreements are expected, notably regarding the future of unabated fossil fuels. While UAE is expected to propose a phase down, the European Union leans towards a complete phase out. Money will also be a sticking point with the debates on loss and damage fund and the 100 billion commitment of the developed countries. Will COP28 make a difference? Skeptics question the impact, yet the summit remains a global stage for potential agreement that transcends national boundaries. As the world turns its eye to Dubai, the COP28 stands at the intersection of debate and action. The question lingers, can this summit transcend the skepticism and lead the charge towards a sustainable future? With camera person Jaishankar, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Dubai.
All right, now take a look at some more stories making news around the world. Catalan Riot managed to evict squatters from 2 adjacent buildings despite heavy attack in the north of Barcelona on Thursday. The residents threw missiles at the police team advancing under the protection of a steel cage. The eviction drive followed a local court's favorable ruling for Spain's Serra Bank, which owns the properties. 13 people died in a fire at a hostel in the Kazakh city of Almaty on Thursday. The fire, with its origins still unclear, broke out early in the morning in a 3-story building whose ground and basement were occupied by 72 hostel guests. The victims died from carbon monoxide poisoning, while the remaining 59 people managed to leave the building. Trays of Presentia plants are being prepared for the Christmas season at the Uniplumo nursery in Dublin. Native to Mexico, these plants with distinctive red leaves are used as decorations in Christmas. 8 acres of the seasonal blooms, which have been growing for 6 months, are potted and packaged for sale during Christmas. The Via Reale Gardens in the Italian city of Monza lit up with a multi-sensory exhibition of lights for the Christmas season. The exhibition, called The Plots of Light, which will be open until 17th of January, is based on wonders, myths and legends of the royal gardens, where visitors can wander through illuminated trees and magical creatures. Still to come on DD India Live. United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Muhammad hails India as a champion of South-South cooperation. At least 3 people killed and 8 injured in a shooting in Jerusalem. And Russia's Interior Ministry prepares a draft law asking foreigners to sign a loyalty agreement.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Muhammad has hailed India as a champion of South-South cooperation. She says India has brought to life the philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means the world is one interconnected family.
The India-UN Development Partnership Fund exemplifies this global commitment. India has long been a champion of South-South cooperation and the global pursuit of the SDGs, bringing to life its philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world as one interconnected family. South-South cooperation not only distinguishes the India-UN Partnership Fund, but it also demonstrates the remarkable achievements that countries and the UN can accomplish when working together with developing nations across multiple SDGs.
As the presidency of G20 under India's leadership comes to an end today, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote in an article that this moment is to reflect, recommit and rejuvenate the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future. He said that India, during its presidency, sought to offer the world an alternative to status quo, a shift from a GDP-centric to human-centric progress. India aimed to remind the world of what unites us rather than what divides us. The Indian Prime Minister also said that after a year of India's presidency, the G20 today is more inclusive, ambitious and action-oriented. He also lauded the first of its kind Voice of the Global South Summit convened by India in 2 editions, which heralded a new dawn of multilateralism. India's Foreign Secretary has highlighted the country's commitment to help Global South in combating climate challenges. Take a listen.
Our approach to climate action is also reflected in our principled positions in the international negotiations and our global efforts to help the rest of Global South in combating this serious challenge of climate change, as also its impact on the development framework of the developing countries.
Israel and Hamas struck a last-minute deal on Thursday to extend their ceasefire for a 7th day. The Israeli army said the truce will continue as mediators seek to secure the release of more hostages held by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Washington, D.C. says it hopes the truce could be extended further to free more hostages and allow aid to reach Gaza. But both sides have maintained that the fighting will resume. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is currently in Israel, says temporary truce between Israel and Hamas had produced results and the U.S. hopes that it will continue. Blinken has met Israel's President Isaac Herzog in Tel Aviv and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet in Jerusalem. Blinken is expected to travel to the West Bank, where he will likely call on Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Now, this is the U.S. diplomat's 3rd trip to the region since the 7th October Hamas attacks in Israel. At least 3 people were killed and 8 others injured in a shooting in Jerusalem. The Israeli police say 2 Palestinians who were behind the attack have been neutralized. The police added that the attackers carried an M16 rifle and a handgun, and that they opened fire at people standing at a bus stop. Meanwhile, Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir visited the shooting scene. He said that the incident showed why Israel must fight the Hamas.
This event proves again why we must not show weakness, why we need to speak to Hamas only through the scopes, through the war. Against Hamas, we must fight. This event proves another thing, how important the policy of distributing weapons is, despite the criticism. I will continue with this policy of distributing weapons everywhere.
Shifting focus now to the Ukraine-Russia conflict, Russia has said that it regained control of a village in the Donetsk and that it's defeated 3 brigades of the Ukrainian army in the direction of Zaporizhia. The Ukrainian Air Defense Forces said in turn that they have destroyed 14 of 20 drones launched by Russia. Ukraine added that the Russian forces launched Iranian-made drones. Russia's Interior Ministry has prepared a draft legislation forcing foreigners to sign a loyalty agreement, forbidding them from criticizing official policy, discrediting Soviet military history, or contravening traditional family values. The proposed agreement would include clauses about morality, family, propaganda about non-traditional sexual relations, and history. Calling the U.S. double-faced, North Korea says it will never hold negotiations over its sovereignty with Washington, D.C. Kim Yo-jong, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and a senior official herself, says Washington, D.C. was offering talks while ramping up military activities in the region. Kim Yo-jong also inspected photographs of a U.S. naval base and an air base in Japan taken by a spy satellite recently launched by Pyongyang. The U.S. and its allies have condemned the satellite launch, saying that it violated United Nations resolutions. The U.S. Treasury Department on Wednesday imposed sanctions on 21 Iranian and foreign nationals and entities for their involvement in financial network to benefit Iran's defense ministry and other parts of the military. The Treasury said the Iranian military used intricate networks of foreign-based front companies and brokers to enable these illicit commercial activities. To South Asia now, where a Pakistani court overturned the conviction of former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif in a corruption case, removing one of the many obstacles for him to qualify to stand in elections in February. The politician, who arrived back home from 4 years of self-imposed exile in London last month, is eyeing to become the Prime Minister for a 4th time. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually interacted with the beneficiaries of the government's welfare schemes under the outreach program called Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. It aims to create awareness about welfare schemes launched by the Indian government across the nation.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the beneficiaries of the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra on Thursday via video conferencing. PM also launched Drone Didi program. Under the initiative, drones will be provided to women self-help groups so that this technology can be used by them in agriculture sector. A total of 15,000 drones will be provided to women SHGs in the next 3 years.
मेरे लिए तो ये ड्रोन दीदी को नमन का कार्यक्रम है और इसलिए मैं तो इस कार्यक्रम का नाम देता हूं नमो ड्रोन दीदी, नमो ड्रोन दीदी, नमो ड्रोन दीदी। ये हमारी नमो ड्रोन दीदी जो है ये आज लॉन्च हो रही है। ये नमो ड्रोन दीदी, ताकि हर गांव ड्रोन दीदी को नमस्ते करता रहे, हर गांव ड्रोन दीदी को नमन करता रहे, ऐसा वातावरण मुझे बनाना है। इसलिए मैंने योजना का नाम भी मेरे से कुछ लोगों ने सुझाया है, नमो ड्रोन दीदी। अगर गांव जैसे कहेगा नमो ड्रोन दीदी, तब तो हमारी हर दीदी का मान सम्मान बढ़ जाएगा।
Prime Minister also launched a program to increase the number of Jan Aushadhi Kendras in the country from 10,000 to 25,000. This is the largest ever endeavour to reach all the Gram Panchayats of the country. More than 2.5 lakh Gram Panchayats will be covered over 2 months with a van, IEC van, and several departments participating. It is believed that under this scheme, 100% beneficiaries should be covered.
इस देश का कोई भी गरीब, चाहे वो जन्म से कुछ भी हो, मुझे उसका जीवन स्तर सुधारना है, उसे गरीबी से बाहर निकालना है। इस देश का कोई भी हुआ, चाहे भी उसकी जाति कुछ भी हो, मुझे उसके लिए रोजगार के, स्वरोजगार के नए अवसर देने हैं। इस देश की कोई भी महिला, चाहे उसकी जाति कोई भी हो, कुछ भी हो, मुझे उसे सशक्त करना है, उसके जीवन से मुश्किलें कम करनी है, उसके सपने जो दबे पड़े हैं ना, उन सपनों को पंख देनी है, संकल्प से भरना है और सिद्धि तक उसके साथ रह करके मैं उसके सपने पूरे करना चाहता हूं। इस देश का कोई भी किसान, चाहे उसकी जाति कुछ भी हो, मुझे उसकी आय बढ़ानी है, मुझे उसका सामर्थ्य बढ़ाना है, मुझे उसकी खेती को आधुनिक बनानी है।
Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is being undertaken across the country with the aim to attain saturation of flagship schemes of the government through ensuring that the benefits of these schemes reach all targeted beneficiaries in a time-bound manner. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra was launched by the Indian Prime Minister on 15th of November from India's eastern state of Jharkhand. Under Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, 17 schemes have been identified for rural areas and 17 different schemes for urban areas. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay reports.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website, ddindia.co.in. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.